Hey guys, in this vlog, I'm going to explain why domain knowledge is far more important than learning a new library or framework. So when I'm talking about domains, I'm not talking about domain names, I'm talking business domain knowledge. So let me give you a quick example. I was talking to a friend of mine. I'll get to the point. The long and short of it is he said that the reason his company is doing so well, and it's a software-based business, is because he understood the business needs really well. He understood the domain, the business domain. That's what I mean by domain, not domain names. He understood what that type of business, the business category that he's in, I won't get into the specifics, but he understands exactly what a typical XYZ business needs, so he's able to build a really good product for them. And so it works well. And that is the key to the success of his business. Not because he knows Node.js or he knows Vue or he decided to learn React. No. It's because he understood the needs of that business type. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you worked in the restaurant business for many, many years. Whatever, sandwich restaurants. I'm using a silly basic example to make the point. And after having worked in the restaurant business for 6 months, a year, whatever it is, you realize that sandwich restaurants have this one problem. And this one problem that's pretty big, pretty important, and it could be solved with a particular type of software that you don't see out there. That is worth much more, that knowledge is worth much more than learning a new framework. So with that knowledge of the domain of the sandwich restaurant, and it being able to identify a particular problem that allows you to go, boom, okay, let's address that and build a piece of software, a software as a service perhaps, that addresses that issue, and so it provides value to the business. That's why I say to people, one of the key process to becoming successful, especially in the freelance game, is A, learn your basics. Most of the time I say learn the web stack. It's HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript. And then do a server-side language. Could be Python, could be PHP, could be Java, could be JavaScript on the server with Node example. But once you have the basics, then I say get out there and do stuff for real. Get out there and start solving problems. And try to learn about businesses. Understand what businesses need, what they thrive on, what opportunities might be available to you as a developer in terms of plugging a hole. There's still a lot of businesses out there. They're still operating in relatively primitive ways, much more than you'd think, given that the web has been popular for a couple of decades now. So there you go. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to domain knowledge. So the final message, if it's not clear, is try not to get seduced into being in that world of doing perpetual tutorials, perpetually doing tutorials, there we go, versus actually getting out there and building real things. One of the basic principles that I keep pushing is that the life of a web developer, of a software developer, is really a life where you learn on a need to nerd basis. There are so many technologies, so many languages out there, so many frameworks that it literally is impossible to learn them all, let alone, forget about all. You have a hard time learning 25% of them. And if you spent your time learning all these things, you wouldn't actually be building anything. And so I say, learn your basics, get out there into the real world, start interacting with people, start seeing how you can solve people's problems with software, and just be casually aware of what's going on with technologies available and how they can be best used. And that's one of the things I'm going to be doing in this vlog. I'm going to be more and more just giving overviews of this and that and the other thing, when to use them, when to explore them, so that they're in the back of your mind, and you may go, for this particular application, we're going to need real high-speed messaging, so this is where Node would come in. Bang. So Node is good at that. You don't know Node at this time, but you can learn Node, right? But at least you know what Node is really good at, and then you can just jump into it there. On the other hand, you may need to build an app that does a lot of web scraping and so forth. There you go. Well, that's where Python is pretty strong. So you might want to go into, jump into some of those Python modules that help you with that. You get the idea. So that's it for now.